checking things on the back end. I'm pretty sure I'm live. Right. Okay. Been a pretty interesting couple of days, hasn't it, folks? So I just want to preface this stream by saying that my wife had surgery yesterday, and so I've been looking after the kids for 2 straight days, and so I am personally exhausted. Not because there's anything wrong with the kids or anything. It's just I'm just trying to make sure they're not constantly causing trouble, and I have a massive pounding headache, and I wasn't going to do a stream tonight. I haven't done a video for a CAD Daily. I wasn't going to do a stream tonight. I was going to get an early night because I feel fucking shattered, because she's obviously recovering, and I'm just absolutely shattered. But people kept asking me, you can do a stream, you can do a stream, you can do a stream. And then eventually Morgoth was like, you can do a stream. I was like, fine, I'll do a stream. We're going to win. We're going to win. You can feel it in the air. You can, the ley lines are all lining up. You can feel it. It's just all of the correct energy is coming into alignment. All of the right people are freaking out. All of the wrong people, well, I should say the wrong people are freaking out. Everyone was just like, finally. It was like a dam bursting. And it's been one day, and already you can feel the difference. They know they're fucked. So it begins with this from a couple of days ago now, like yesterday. It was a couple of days ago this was recorded. And this was such a great little clip that Connor's posted it here, but it's been going around, right?
Who would you like to see being PM?
PM?
Yeah, Prime Minister.
Rupert Lowe.
I love this so much, right? I love, like, look at him leaning in. This is a revolution, right? I'm sick of it. I bet this guy was excited when Farage joined Reform, became an MP for Clacton. I bet he was excited. I bet he was like, finally, we're going to get something done. And then Farage starts filling the party with Muslims and Tories. Literally, a Bangladeshi Boris Wave migrant gets to become a councillor, but for some reason, my guys get kicked out of Reform for saying things from the Reform Party's own manifesto. Both Bo and Dan got deselected and kicked out of the fucking party for just saying things that were in their manifesto or had been something that Farage had said in his speeches. What? Oh, it was so infuriating. And then, obviously, Zia Youssef buys his way in with 200 grand. And then he starts just bringing in loads and loads of Tories, 27 ex-Tories, including some of them who were literally part of the fucking Conservative government that brought in the Boris Wave. And I'm sorry, Robert Jenrick, but you were the immigration minister in that time period. And it's just like, okay. So Farage has got a large body of working class people, in a lot of them in the north, a lot of them ex-Labour voters, and he's like, here's this lineup of Tories, lads, get voting. It's like, yeah, I don't think that actually that's what people were asking for. And Farage has been playing a very strange game, a very strained game, in which he is at the top of a very thin ivory tower, and essentially Farage has been running Reform as if he is an Ottoman sultan. It's Farage and Zia Youssef, his vizier, his worm tongue, and then a great distance between him and massed levies, basically peasant recruits. And for some reason, he has left an entire army of veteran campaigners, not just at his back, but in many cases, like, cast aside on purpose. People who are very intelligent, very well read, very politically switched on, whose careers involve politics, and who have been doing this, so in some cases, for decades. And he's like, yeah, well, I don't need those guys. I have my peasant army. And it's like, okay, that's great, but you've literally left a massive company of free men who are angry at you at your back. Do you think that these guys, that's us, guy, by the way, folks, do you think we're not going to do something? Do you think we're just like, well, I guess Sultan Farage has figured this out. I know he's dipping in the polls at like 29% on average now or something like that, when he should be well north of 40. But Sultan Farage and his army of peasant conscripts from like Jane from accounts and bloody Bob from marketing that he intends to just pluck up and dump in seats to do nothing while he does what? Struggles personally, individually with the system? Is this going to work? Is that the way to victory? Is that the Western way of victory? And people aren't happy with it. And so what I look at this guy jutting out his chin. I want Rupert Lowe. That's who I want. Because on the other side, right, you've got Farage with his incredibly narrow range of ex-Tories and the trail of bodies he has left in his career. And on the other side of that, you have Rupert Lowe, who seems to be, as far as anyone can tell, as far as I can tell, a really successful businessman, really popular man, just gregarious, popular, like everyone seems to really like him, and a faithful family man and grandfather. He's been married for 40 years to the same woman who's still, you know, as happy as the day they got married, and they've got kids and grandkids, and he's got his business and he's got his farm, and he donates his salary to Great Yarmouth, a charity in Great Yarmouth, every month. He donates his monthly salary because he has made himself independently wealthy. And on the other hand, and then you just compare that to Farage, who, when he was at ARC in 2024, he was like, yeah, we've got the slogan family, community, country, or something like that. And he was on stage going, well, I know I haven't been the best example of that. It's like, yeah, no, you had affairs with like Alex, whatever faces, that broke up your marriage, right? Like you are a Jack the Lad, right? You are a Jack the Lad. And it's fine. Don't get me wrong. I bet Farage is phenomenal to go to the pub with. But people aren't actually happy with how he's running his party and what the potential future is going to look like. But moreover, everyone can see the trail of bodies that he's left, the trail of murder victims that he's left on his rise to the top. And it's like, okay, yeah, there's something about this that just isn't sticking, right? I don't think he's actually against the system. I don't think he's outside of the Uniparty. He seems to be reassembling the Uniparty under a teal banner. That's actually not what people want. And so a lot of people, myself included, have been on it. Rupert Lowe going, you know you're going to have to, don't you? You know it's going to have to be you. And if you got Island of 5, which of course you can't get now because it's sold out, you would have read Rupert Lowe's interview that we had in there, where he says his favourite historical figure from British history is Cromwell. I mean, he named his dog Cromwell. So it's one of those things where it's like, right, okay, we've got the guy, right? He's the man. He's the guy. And when this came out, I mean, look at the number of views on this. 21.5 million views. I forgot to get something. Let me just grab something quickly. I did bookmark it, though, because I think it's really worth showing the distinction here in excitement, right? So this is Rupert Lowe. Says, look, I've decided to start Restore Britain as a party. So you can join it and we can, a national political party. When Nigel Farage, back in 2024, said, yeah, okay, I was going to swan off to the United States, but actually Reform were about 13% in the polls, because remember, they began at like 1 or 2% in the polls. Richard Tice had kept the thing alive for long enough for the situation to get so bad that they were looking like a viable protest vote, right? And when the Clacton polling came back and Reform were at 31%, something like that in Clacton, and they looked like they were going to win, Farage yeeted whoever the poor guy was that was going to get that seat, didn't compensate him, by the way, screwed him over, of course, and then said, yep, okay, I'm the new leader of Reform and I will be standing in Clacton. I got 1.5 million views on Twitter. 1.5 million. That's not that many, actually. It's actually not hard to have a tweet that gets 1.5 million views, especially when Farage himself has got like 2 million followers. Rupert's 21.5 million views in a day. I mean, this only went up yesterday, about 2 hours. So 26 hours, 21.5 million views. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Like, guys, this has hit a real nerve, right? Like this has absolutely struck a chord. And so I was watching this all sort of breaking yesterday, and so I watched the video, and we'll watch it together because it's an incredible video, incredible. We'll talk about it because why wouldn't we?
I have chosen to speak to you today from the farm because places like this represent what proper Britain is about. Hard work, responsibility, effort, duty, stewardship. This is the England...
See, that is just exactly what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. Look at what Rupert is not saying here, right? He's not saying, I'm going to make your life easier, right? Effort, duty, stewardship. This is the proper right-wing framing. This is what Jordan Peterson was always appealing to, and I'm sure that didn't affect how Rupert has pointed this out. But the point being, this is what Jordan Peterson is saying. Look, people want to be offered responsibility, and they will rise to the challenge. And that's what Rupert is offering. That's what he is suggesting. We are the custodians of our country, and we should act like it. It's such good framing. And of course, he does own a farm. He legitimately is a farmer, as well as all the other things that he does. So it's completely right. You know, when Farage does his walking around the countryside in his wax jacket, his barbell jacket, what they call him, like, that's an aesthetic. But this is actually Rupert Lowe's lived reality. Remember when Farage backstabbed Lowe, and they made up a lie that he had threatened to murder Zia Youssef to try and get him arrested and thrown in jail. The police went and not only did they arrest him, but they also confiscated his guns. Because Rupert Lowe has got like half a dozen shotguns and rifles, because on a farm you have to shoot foxes and maybe shoot deer or whatever, pests. You actually need guns. And so they took his guns for like months until he got them back. And, you need these things. These are tools when you're working on a farm. So, just saying, for Rupert, this is not an aesthetic. This is real. This is how he lives his life, which is just, you can see the night and day difference where Farage is pretending or play acting at the thing. This is genuinely how Rupert lives.
Stewardship. This is the England I know, and this is the England that I love. On a farm, you don't think in election cycles or headlines or polling. You think in seasons. You think in generations, in what you leave behind to those who come after you. And that's why, here on the farm, I am now launching Restore Britain as a national political party. I'm now going to dedicate my life to finding, organising, funding, and providing hundreds of qualified candidates to present to the British people at the next general election. This process has already started, with invitations being issued to patriots in aligned political parties, Reform, the Conservatives, the SDP, Advance, and more. In local politics, we will work in partnership with localised political parties, such as Great Yarmouth First, that have the best interests of their residents at heart, combining our forces at the next general election. The men and women standing for Restore in that election will not be politicians.
Just pause there because my nose is starting to run for some reason. But that's so great, isn't it? It's so great to hear. Like, I'm fucking sick of politicians. I'm just so sick of them. Like, professional politicians. I mean, this is the problem with the Labour Party, right? Like, everyone's like, oh, Keir Starmer, he wasn't a politician. Well, I mean, that shows because shit. But also, he kind of is, right? You can't say, I'm a professional human rights lawyer and I was the director of public prosecutions and I got made Sir Keir Starmer. And you come like, oh, that guy's not political. No, that's an entirely political office, actually. His entire job is to politically change the legal landscape of the country. I do want, though, some people who are actually not politicians, but accomplished in other realms of life. Like, one of the things that's just maddening with Farage is that there are loads of, like, economists who supported Brexit, but you wouldn't know it because he doesn't have any of them around him. Like, you wouldn't know that there were loads of, like, like what the Weatherspoons guy, Tim, what's his face? Why isn't he a part of Farage's advisory team or something like that? Like, there are accomplished businessmen who know how the country ought to be run and are literally, I mean, I'm not saying I'm one of them, but I know the problems that we have running businesses in this country because I've fucking run a business. I have a business of my own, and my God, do I know the problems with overregulation and fucking taxation and business rates. And I'm not going to go on about it, but you know what I mean? Like, there are real people who have real knowledge of how really the world and this country works. And Farage is like, yeah, I'm going to take Zia Yusuf, a concierge. I'm going to take, like, Nadine Dorries, Boris's primary cheerleader, and the first thing she did was say, hey, we should get Boris in this party, guys. Like, I want to throw Boris. No, I'm not gonna Fed post, but I don't want Boris, right? I actually don't want Boris. I actually don't want any more of these slimy politicians whose only job is to win elections through guile, through fraud, through legerdemain, through sleight of hand, and then to give me nothing, to give us nothing of what we need, to just completely sell us out. I mean, Boris has a classic line that was leaked years later: open the floodgates because I want the Financial Times to like me again. And my God, man, I'm so fucking sick of it. I'm so sick of it. I don't want professional politicians. Like, we have so many lawyers in politics. It really bothers me. Because actually, I don't want a country ruled by lawyers. There are loads of fucking lawyers on both sides of the aisle. And it's like, look, I would rather someone who has real human experience in some other endeavour of life. And we can just hire some lawyers to write or draft or repeal or whatever, to do the dog work of repealing the laws that are standing in our way or adding laws that we absolutely need. Right? We don't need lawyers in charge of things. We don't need professional politicians. What we need are people who are actually invested in the country itself and not invested in manipulating and gaming the system so they get a comfortable retirement and a comfortable parachute out of it. Like the bloody, what's the Lib Dem guy? He was in the coalition government. I swear to God, I've hardly slept in the past couple of days. It's going to come to me. It's going to come to me, right? But the point is, I don't want politicians either. And this, brilliant. This is a country that is full of very smart people, very committed people. We don't need them. We need a completely fresh slate. So Nigel taking like dozens of ex-Tories who are just like, oh yeah, well, we fucked this up. So, okay, why would you get another chance? Nick Clegg, that was it. Thank you. Becoming the like head honcho of Facebook in this country. Like, where's Rishi Sunak gone? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want this, right? I don't want this. We need people who are just directly connected to the country itself, and this is what he is offering.
I promise you that. They will not be failed ministers. They will not be tainted by failures of the past. They will be from business, from the military, from science, from medicine, from education, from industry, representing real communities up and down the country.
One thing that you should probably want as well is for them to be standing in the constituency in which they live. I realise, I'm not saying this is what he's going to do. I don't know, but it's one of those things where I swear to God, what we should do in this country is prevent the ability to do what Americans call carpetbagging. Just to parachute candidates into constituencies. So, we've got a safe seat and we want that guy to be in Parliament. Therefore, we parachute him in. He doesn't have to live there and he can just win the safe seat. That's got to end, right? That is actually a cancerous way of running democracy. No, you have to run in the place where you live. And we could have it so you've got to have lived there for more than 5 years. They have 6 years. So you can't just jump in before an election cycle and then be like, yeah, hey guys, look, I happen to have bought a house in this place and therefore I'm from here. No, you've got to have lived there from at least 2 election cycles before you can run or something like that. Just something where it's like, no, we want you to actually represent the country and not be, I don't know, a Goldman Sachs banker, Rishi Sunak, you fucking prick. Sorry. How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you get parachuted in to Richmond, an ultra-safe Tory seat. I mean, on the plus side, at least there are no safe seats anymore for the Legacy Uni Party. There's nowhere that's Conservative or Labour that's a safe seat. All of the Labour front bench, are going to lose their seats in the next election, by the way. All of them. All of them. Keir Starmer, Angela Rayner, well, she's not front bench now. Keir Starmer, Rachel Reeves, like all of them. All of them. David Lammy, probably actually David Lammy will keep his. But the rest of them, waxed. They're all fucking done. And so it's just like, it's so good, man. It's so good.
Every single one will be from well outside the existing political establishment, and every single one will understand the difficult decisions that need to be taken.
Perfect. I don't want insiders from the political establishment. And everyone's like, oh, well, you know, they have experience. So what? No one was like, well, Tony Blair hasn't got any experience. We're not going to elect him. He got a massive majority, even though he had no experience in government. Most people who are elected to government actually don't have experience of being in government. Like, this isn't something that is actually, you know, necessarily a good thing, because they've got experience of selling the fucking country out. Like, I don't want that. I want genuine outsiders, genuine rebels who are going to be like, oh no, this system is cancer. This system is destroying the country. And that's how you know Rupert Lowe is the only person who is a genuine rebel against the system and recognizes that it is the system itself that is the problem. And so what we're going to do, we're going to fucking destroy it. We are going to tear it down piece by piece, and this system we can call the UK, YOOKIKAY. And every fucking party these days is like, restore UK, change UK, me. No, the UK is the Blairite project that has been brought about through British values. Well, I'm sorry, it's destroying our country. I like the idea of restoring Britain to what it was before Tony Blair took over. Yeah, when we actually were Great Britain and not just the UK. Fucking UK. Fuck the UK. You know, we are taking this back, folks. We are taking this back.
Because there are no easy fixes. I'm not going to tell you comforting lies about the condition of our country. I have only ever been honest with the British people, and I will be straight with you now. What is necessary will be incredibly painful. But for the first time in a very...
That is so fucking refreshing, man. It's so refreshing because it is going to be painful, right? It's going to be difficult and there will be suffering along the way. There will be suffering. This will be hard and it will hurt. And we have been in a position where the sort of anesthetic politics of the managerial state, which is just to ameliorate all kinds of inconveniences. Oh, but what about the 2-child benefit cap? Oh, there are some single mothers who are now in poverty and that's going to be... What? Whose fucking choice was that? Right? Whose choice was it? They made the decisions. Why do I have to be the one who pays for it? And it's like that with everything. Oh, look at these poor Afghans or Iranians or whatever who invaded our country on small boats. You don't even want to know what I think should be done with them. Like, I'm not in any way interested in ameliorating the discomfort they have in their situation. I'd personally have them flogged. Like, so fuck them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm for hardship. I'm for suffering. We are going to go through it. It's going to suck. But it has to be done. Like cutting out a cancer, you have to have an invasive surgery. It's just necessary. In order to get back to something that is a respectable, decent, prosperous, optimistic country, we are going to have to do some brutally invasive surgery, and it's going to hurt. There isn't any anesthetic for this. This is going to be rough, but we have to become the men and women who can take it on the chin and say, no, this is the right thing. We are going to do the right thing. That's all we have to do. It's just going to be difficult, and there are going to be all sorts of communists and backsliders who are like, oh no, oh but I can't, oh no, we can and must. We absolutely must do this, because if we don't, we are condemning our children, grandchildren, and all of our descendants to hell. And we are the last generation that is in a position to do this without significant bloodshed. frankly. We are the last generation to be in a position to say, no, we have the demographic might to do this democratically, to do it lawfully, to do it without violence, and to do it right. We are in that position. And if we don't grasp the nettle on this, if we don't actually make the effort and take responsibility for the state of the world that we live in, future generations will never forgive us. They will never forgive us. They will damn our memories, and rightly so. Absolutely rightly so. So no, I love this. I love this framing so much. This isn't going to be easy. It's going to be painful, but it is necessary. We are not promising you ease. We are not promising you comfort. We are promising you hardship. A long road. But at the end of it, glory.
Very long time, voters will have a genuine alternative which is truthful with them about the scale of what now has to be done. The first priority is to control who comes to our country, and more importantly, who stays in our country. Restore Britain will not just stop mass immigration, we will reverse it.
That is a killer line, isn't it? Because I was thinking, yeah, okay, what you want to do is have quite a hard line anti-immigration slogan, right? Sort of not one more, end all immigration now, something like that. And it's like, well, Rupert decided, nah, that's not strong enough. we assume we're going to stop it, but they're going home. They're going to go home. And what does this do? Well, this puts Rupert in a league of his own. This is the Trumpian strategy. Rupert Lowe, his slogan, we are going to reverse mass immigration. Millions are going home. Well, I mean, what does Keir Starmer say to that? Oh, that's horrific. What do the Lib Dems say to that? Oh, it's horrific. What does Zach Polanski say to that? Oh, it's horrific. You're a racist. What does Nigel Farage say to that? Oh, no. It's not my intention. I don't want my name attached to mass deportations. Farage sits comfortably shoulder to shoulder with the Lib Dems, the Labour Party, the Conservative Party, and the Green Party. All of them will be on the other side of this issue. And Rupert Lowe occupies the actual right-wing space. He is the only person in the country who is publicly pledging his party to mass remigration, sending the people who shouldn't be here home. And so they're all going to denounce him. They're all going to say, no, that's beyond the pale. That's terrible. And Rupert has, the Trumpian advantage here because he doesn't care. He doesn't care what they think. Whenever Nigel Farage is challenged by like Beth Rigby or Rob Peston or whoever on Sky News, yeah, I mean, it's terrible. I mean, like, for example, the thing with Jim Ratcliffe, right? Where he's like, well, I mean, it's going to be difficult, but like, we're being colonized. And Farage came out and said, yes, but I mean, you're not ready for that yet. He said yes, but then he backs down from it when he's challenged because he wants the interviewer to like him. Whereas Rupert Lowe doesn't give a flying fuck about their opinion. And you saw this in the Emily Maitlis interview. It's just amazing. Just holds his ground. He's like, no, this is what we need to do. I don't care about your liberal pieties on this. This is the way it has to be. And so it puts him in that Trumpian position where it's like, I don't care about your opinions. This is what I think is right, and I'm the one who decides it. And this is the difference between Rupert and Farage. Farage having this kind of Jack the Lad, man behaving badly attitude around him means that he wants to be liked by the people who are calling him Nazi. Whereas Rupert Lowe has brought a kind of patriarchal authority to this conversation. I'm the moral arbiter. I'm the one who sets the moral paradigm. I'm the one who tells you what is right, not the person that you are now interrogating and trying to get on the back foot. And it's so refreshing and so important. And it's one of those things that Farage has just never been able to step up to, put his chin out and just say, punch. I don't care. I don't care if you call me a racist. I don't care if you're trying to shame me. I don't care. This is right. And Rupert Lowe has just begun on day one on that position. Like, Farage spent his entire career unable to get there. And Lowe begins there day fucking one. Just amazing. This is it. This is the absolute bulwark that we were waiting for.
Every single illegal migrant will be securely detained and then deported. The message will be unrelenting. If you are in this country without our permission, you will be removed. For the foreseeable future, far more people must leave Britain than arrive. If a foreign national is unable to speak English, lives in social housing, claims benefits, refuses to work, fails to integrate, commits crime, or even actively hates our way of life and wishes to do us harm, then they must leave or be made to leave.
So
Restore
good.
Britain will make our
You got no business here, Abdul. Like, it's so good. This is exactly the attitude we want. It's not hateful. It's not, we're going to just get rid of every brown person or anything like that, which is what it will be caricatured into, should I say. It's very sensible. This is an immigration policy for the British people. And note the intent, far more people must leave than come in. We are going to have net emigration for the foreseeable future. Millions here will go. And that's good. That makes our country better. That is, it carries on here. It makes our community safer. It's what is needed.
communities safe again for women and children. That I promise you. If that means millions go, then millions go.
Farage could never say that, could he? Like, Rupert is literally in a league of his own with zero other elected mainstream politicians who could stand on this position. How could we lose?
We're constantly told that the economy needs vast swathes of low-skilled migrants. We know that's simply not true. What we need is to get millions of healthy Brits back into work. A radical overhaul of how welfare is delivered. Protecting those in genuine need, but not funding healthy shirkers.
I mean, this is just a mature policy, right? The current welfareism of Britain is ruining us. I mean, apparently, like, you would think we'd lost the war. Something like a quarter of the country is getting some sort of disabled benefit. You would think that we'd lost the war. And that literally millions of soldiers have come back from the front missing limbs. But that obviously hasn't happened. What it is we're retarded. We have a very feminine welfare state that just doesn't care. And it's like, oh, you've got anxiety, have you? Well, you can get signed off work forever. And it's like, no, fuck off. Like, I'm so sick of it. It has to end. It just has to end. This nonsense. Everyone knows this is not true. Everyone knows that this is bullshit. And so it has to end.
To live off the back of hard-working men and women.
And I tell you what, I've only, in January had to pay your tax, man. I had to pay my fucking tax and I was just raging. I was just black mood for a day. And then I was just angry afterwards. I know how much money I have to pay. And don't get me wrong, I earn well, I work really hard. You know, I've got my business, I do all this in my spare time. So I'm very grateful for what I have, but I feel like I've earned it, right? I feel like I've earned it. And when it turns out that I'm working for the government for like a third of the year, I just can't say I'm very happy with it. Especially when I know where that fucking money goes, right? Especially when I see the layabouts drinking their coffee in the middle of the day. Foreign layabouts just sat there doing nothing all day. And I'm just like, not going to go on. Not going to go on.
If you can work, you must work. It really is that simple. Restore Britain will be abundantly clear. If you consistently refuse work, then you will lose your benefits. We will punish indolence, and more importantly, we will reward success. We will provide vast economic incentives for men and women to start businesses, generate opportunities, build wealth, and create self-sufficient families.
No, so he's not trying to make you be a government dependent. Like, the total opposite of anything like that we would actually want. Like, a normal English person obviously thinks that this is the right way that the country should be structured. Like, the average person, if you ask them, well, should people be government dependents, or should they start their own businesses or get jobs and buy their own property? And obviously, and this goes for literally like the last 1,000 years, that was the English perspective on the world. Like, Rupert here is just in the long line of very normal, sane Englishmen, literally going back to the earliest point that we have records for, where England had a thriving property market, which is in 1200. They're the earliest property records that we have. And even then, Englishmen were buying and selling property all over the place, unlike in most of the rest of the world. So this is just such a normal English opinion, but it's not even portrayed. It just sounds radical in this day and age. No, you shouldn't be a welfare parasite. No, you shouldn't just be reliant on the government for absolutely everything that you have. You should get a job and work and earn your way in life. Like, it just sounds like it's radical. It's a paradigm shift. But it's been such a normal, basic opinion that every Englishman for the last 1,000 years has held. But this is where we are.
Standing here today on the farm, I know exactly what it means to deal with energy bills, labour shortages, regulation, unproductive paperwork, planning restrictions, tax, and endless uncertainty.
My favourite bits of Clarkson's farm are him engaging with the bureaucracy. I love it. Again, Clarkson, utterly normal English opinions on government, on dealing with paperwork and bureaucracy, right? Again, just man after my heart. I fucking hate dealing with paperwork. I hate dealing with bureaucracy. I hate paying tax. So, this could not speak to me on a more spiritual level if it tried. This is, these are the nuts and bolts. These are the infrastructure of everything that you see, right? When on like Monday morning, like, by the way, Bo's show on Monday morning, if you're driving to work between 8 and 9, tune in to the podcast, the Lotus Eaters channel. Bo has his morning breakfast show. I watch it every morning. And it's just become a really nice staple of when I'm getting ready, I've just got it on in the background, listening to him saying, right, these are the big stories of the day, right? And he's, it's chat. It's a very relaxed show, and it's just really nice and familiar, frankly. I've been really enjoying it. But Monday's show, Bo's really excited about this. It's going to be a banger. I can feel it already. But the point is, when you're tuning into our shows, right, and like podcast shows, like there's a huge amount of infrastructure that goes into making the show. And a huge amount of expenses, and a huge amount of difficulty. And it's not that these are like practical difficulties of actually getting the thing done. All the technical side of it, we know what we're doing. That's all sorted. What it is like interfacing with the government, or the energy bills, or the fucking paperwork, or the taxes, or just regulations, all these things. And it's just like, if only the state would get out of our way, it would just make our jobs 90% easier. It's so much bandwidth that we have to waste getting to the point where you can watch our show. I know it sounds silly, but this is just from my experience. It's going to be the same for every fucking business you can imagine. Every single business is weighed down by this, and that's why so many of them close. So many of them close. Like, we're way luckier than most, man, in the sort of space we're in. Because we've got lots of people. Frankly, we've got you guys that we can rely on for support, right? But a lot of businesses don't have that because they provide like a mundane service. You run a cafe, or you run a food shop, or you're a toy store or something like that. Like, you don't have like this goodwill from the community that we can get in the same way. And so if the government decides, well, we're just going to fuck you, then you're fucked. I mean, look at what they did with the pubs recently, like quadrupling their business rates. So they had to pay like 18 grand a year to like 70 or 80 grand a year. It's like, or 100 grand a year. It's like, man, that is insane. That is wiping out. And they had to backtrack from that because it was very apparent that this was going to destroy the hospitality industry. And because at this point, the government is basically a vampire, right? It's a vampire. They want to just suck your money out, and they have decided that's it, that they don't care. They don't care how much they destroy. Well, Rupert is the opposite of this. This is the complete opposite what he's offering. And he knows, and we all know, getting to a point where actually the country is good for the average person to want to live in and do business is going to be difficult, but we have to get there. I mean, like the Jim Ratcliffe thing, right? They were all whinging, oh my God, Jim Ratcliffe, he's fled to Monaco. Yeah, well, there's a good reason for that, right? Because then they were like, oh, see, look, he didn't pay $4 billion in taxes last year. It's like, you were going to steal £4 billion off the guy. No wonder he was like, yeah, fuck this. How much does it cost him to move his entire life to Monaco, where they pay zero taxes? Not 4 billion, was it? So just 1 year's worth of taxes made him moving to another country entirely worth it. That seems fucking stupid and short-sighted. Would rather have spent all of, whatever money he was going to spend in Britain, right? Like, let him buy a nice fucking estate and have 25 servants or whatever. That's people's jobs. That's livelihoods. That's other people getting money, buying houses. Like, that's keeping money in the country. That's obviously good for us. Anyway, I'm ranting and raving because it's just, it's so insufferable that it's got to this point. But it's so good that Rupert is just nailing every point correctly. Like, this is all correct.
The state has definitively become the enemy of the people.
Never a truer word spoken there, right? Like, the British government actually hates the British people, is currently in the process of ethnically replacing them, turning them to second-class citizens, making sure that they are on, like, non-crime hate watch lists and things like this. Constantly advocating that, I know that like, people keep Allahu Akbaring a lot, but it's the far right terrorists who are the real problem. It's like, look, guys, I think the government just hates us and wants us dead. I think they're actually here to just rob us of everything that we have, flood our communities with dangerous lunatics, and destroy England itself. I think that's their plan. And if it's not their plan, why is that the result that we are getting out of them? Why are they immiserating us? Why are they taking our country away from us? If that's not the plan, what is causing this?
Restore Britain will burn away suffocating taxes on work and enterprise. We will slash unnecessary regulation. We will dismantle bloated quangos and the overbearing HR culture. We must crush parasitic Britain. We will restore long-term, stable, logical policy so that businesses can plan and invest and grow again.
Makes
But
sense.
Restore Britain is about much more than numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about who we are as a nation and who we are as a people. Britain is not just an economy. Britain is not just an idea. Britain is not just a passport. Britain is a nation. Britain is a people, our people. And Restore Britain will never allow that to be erased.
See, that is a very strong statement about the demographic integrity of the nation. Right? That is to say, the people themselves are the country, and everything follows from that. The very nature of civic life, civic nationalism, if it doesn't come from the people, then it doesn't really exist. And it goes wherever the people themselves go. Remember, the rights of Englishmen were possessed in the person. They weren't just abstract in a set of laws that could be picked up and taken anywhere else. No, these were things possessed for and fought for by the people themselves. And so this is the most revolutionary point. He is abandoning the concept of British values making you British, which many people have made the argument for now, which is fucking ridiculous, and is saying, no, look, this is us and ours, and we have a right to it. And everything follows from that. This is the locus, the point, the origin point, the wellspring, the fount that begins with policy that works for us. Every other party is actually somewhere else. And even Farage, like, I'm not even being unfair to Farage here, right? His objection to mass immigration was the stability of communities and the institutions, right? He has an institutional view. Like, I don't think these communities will get on with one another. It's like, I don't give a flying fuck if the Muslims and Hindus in Leicester are warring. I want to know why it's our problem and why they're here. Right? Farage just wants harmony. He wants the system to work as it's currently working, and that's the reason that he calls his party Reform. No, I want the things that are happening. I just want them to work in a more harmonious way. It's like, well, I don't. I don't want any of the things that are happening. I want a total restoration of the country to how it used to be. I want us to know that we are going to inhabit this island for another 1,000 years and more, and so that I can sleep soundly and say, well, you know what, a lot of things are bad in the world, but at least our little corner of the world is well maintained, is well kept, is producing good moral people, and we can be happy with the way that we had it in our care while we were here. We were good stewards of it. And that's the opposite of what we've been till this point. For the last 30 years, we've been terrible stewards of this country. And it's to our shame. It's to our eternal national shame that it got to this point. But thank God we are finally doing something about it.
We will celebrate our Christian heritage and the identity that built and shaped this country. Responsibility, restraint, forgiveness, duty, and fairness. In short, a high-trust society. That will mean defending our culture. That will mean resisting the relentless creep of radical Islam. That will mean banning the burqa, outlawing Sharia law, blocking cousin marriages, and reimposing our Christian-based rule of law. A Restore Britain government.
I mean, what could you argue against? Sorry, my eyes are twitching because, again, like I said, I've got a massive headache and I'm really tired. So it's been a stressful couple of days, not because of this at all. This is, just personal reasons.
Would legislate to ensure that no halal or kosher slaughter on British soil.
What I like about Rupert is that you can tell he's centered in Britain and the British experience of the world and other people's experiences. In fact, he says this right now. Other people's experiences are for where they live in their own countries. Don't care. Didn't ask. We're going to, as he says...
This is Britain, and we will do things our way.
Correct. Every word is symphony. That's all I want to hear. It's like choirs of angels singing in the background. This is Britain. We'll do things our way. If you don't like it, you have options, right? We don't. This is our only option. But you being here and thinking, well, I just don't like this. Well, where did you come from? That's your option. We don't have that because this is the only place we come from.
This political party now exists for one reason: to restore Britain. To make it a better, safer, and more prosperous place for British men and women to raise their families. It will be difficult and it will be painful. But I assure you, it is possible. I hope you will consider joining me on this journey and becoming a member of our party. It is our country. It is now our collective responsibility to act. Together, we will restore Britain. Thank you.
Amazing. Now, I'm not crying, by the way, although there'd been absolutely no shame in crying about this. I would fully encourage you. But no, it's genuinely that I've just been up for a long time and I'm tired and I have a headache. But amazing. Absolutely amazing. He, like I said, compare that to this. Let's see how many views it's got now, because I'm sure it's gone up. 22.3 million views compared to Nigel's 1.5. There is something happening out there, Nigel, but it ain't coming for you. Anyway, Rupert also posted his speech launching Restore Britain in Great Yarmouth. I think, chat, I'd like you to just all cheer, post applause in the chat for Great Yarmouth and the good patriots of Great Yarmouth. Because if it wasn't for them being like, yeah, we don't care anymore, like the lads in Clacton, right? Like all the good folks in Clacton, just be like, fuck this. We're voting for the far right parties. We're doing it. We don't care. We're just doing it. Let's get those applause in the chat because it's Great Yarmouth that have made this happen. The good patriots in Great Yarmouth. They will go down in the history books as the people essentially who began the process of saving the country. They're the ones who put this on the map. So good for them. Absolutely full of it for them. This is so good. Well done, lads. And so obviously Rupert gives his speech there. And I mean, it's 25 minutes long, so I won't play it. But it's Rupert. It's classic Rupert. It's him explaining, look, I don't care about your pieties. I don't care about your opinions. I'm not going to back down, and I'm in the right. And this has made him wildly popular in Great Yarmouth. Again, just not just that, but like obviously everything that he's doing. They got what they voted for, right? That's the thing. Everyone voting for Farage. Great. He's put another Muslim in charge of something in the party. Great. Another Muslim is filling this out. Oh, more Tory defectors. Is this what you were voting for when you voted for Farage? No, not really. Like, the poor people of Clacton are getting it in the face. And I'm genuinely sympathetic. Like, Farage should be doing everything. I mean, like, Farage, when Elon last January, not this one, but the one before, was making a huge deal over Christmas about the rape gangs, Farage came out, like all of them, and said, we're going to do an inquiry. Didn't happen. Rupert finished the rape gang inquiry like the day before he announced this. Rupert has actually been working. And there was a brilliant bit of the BBC where they did a bunch of vox pops on the street, asking people, what do you think about Rupert Lowe? And the worst they could find from someone is, well, he's not from here. But everyone was like, yeah, he's brilliant. He's actually working for us. He's actually doing things. I contacted him and he helped me. He sends his salary to a charity every month. He's actually, like, everyone have got what they voted for award when it comes to Rupert. He has been the most active, he's the one doing all the parliamentary notes where you make official requests to the government and things like that. He's done thousands. Like he's just actually working and helping people, and Farage is doing nothing apart from backstabbing him, of course. And so it's just like, Rupert has turned Great Yarmouth. We know when he does lots of things that have, interacted with the public, and then he'll post the map of where you've got the recipients from. Great Yarmouth is always the darkest red on the map. It's like deep blood red, where the most concentration of people who have got on the petition or whatever it is that he's doing have got. And then you've got a sort of reddish pink spread across the rest of the country, which is completely to be expected. But he's made Great Yarmouth this dark red colour when it comes to interaction with. He has built a very strong constituency there, and they actually are glad to have him. They voted for this and they got it. And so Rupert is in a really strong position because no one can take that away from him. They can't do anything about that. And so it's just like, excellent. So anyway, he gives this speech in Great Yarmouth, and it's all the sort of like the greatest hits. So yeah, well, I did this, I did that, I don't care about them, and we're just going to do this because it's the right thing to do. So I'll let you watch it in your own time, but it's absolutely banging. But yeah, as you can see, he got the Elon Musk endorsement really quickly, which is Elon knew, right? Elon sniffed this out again a year ago, where he was like, I like Rupert Lowe, Farage is not the guy, right? Everyone could see it. We were all hoping, oh God, please let Farage be playing 4D. No, he's just a coward, right? Elon sniffed it out really fucking quickly and had a big set to with Farage in public. And Farage basically was like, yeah, well, we'll figure it out or something like that. But he noticed very quickly that it was Rupert Lowe had the metal in him. He had the spine, the steel to say, I don't care about their opinions. In the same way that Elon does, in the same way that I do and that you guys watching do. We don't care about their opinions. We have our own opinions and we stand by them because we think they're right. So, Elon absolutely giving him a huge boost, obviously, as usual. And then we get to the polling. So this was only done yesterday, but a poll has come out today from Find Out Now. And they sampled 1,000 people, and Rupert Lowe has begun on 10% of the vote. That is fucking incredible, right? So UKIP would get 3 to 4% of the vote. And when it started becoming a major issue, the Brexit referendum became a major issue, they go up to like 6 or 7% of the vote. Remember when Reform started, they were on literally like UKIP 2 or 3% of the vote. And then they got up to about 7 or 8%. And people were like, oh, right. And it was only when they got to 13% of the vote and the poll from Clacton came back that Farage was like, right, okay, I'm going to go take charge of this rather than going over to America and helping Donald Trump, even though it looks like that Donald Trump doesn't really like Farage anymore. So that obviously wasn't going to happen. So to begin on 10% on day one is fucking remarkable. Just absolutely remarkable. And it shows that this has legs. Like, this is going somewhere. And this is not the first poll either. There was a poll a few months back in the Red Wall, as in the working class northern areas, where they were asking people, who would be the best Prime Minister of the country? And this was, again, like 6 months ago. At the time, Rupert Lowe was an independent backbench MP, so someone who shouldn't really have a profile nationally. And he polled just organically at 6%. So that's impressive. 6% of people in the North are like, yeah, we'd just like Rupert Lowe as Prime Minister, actually, thanks. Can't like the cut of his jib. So he doesn't have a party. He hasn't been campaigning for you. I don't care. I like the guy. And then there was a poll that Restore Britain, before they became party, commissioned, asking if Rupert Lowe had if there was a party on the ballot that was led by Rupert Lowe, would you vote for it? They got 10% in that, and everyone was like, yeah, but they've named Rupert Lowe in the question, so it kind of loads it, so you're always going to get a better result than you think. And now we have this another one, which is, we're at another 10%. And again, that's day one, right? So, sorry guys, I think we're going to win, because obviously, BBC, LBC, whoever, have started producing articles that are titled, well, Rupert Lowe started a party now. So it's in the mainstream consciousness, and they're already polling at the same rate as the Liberal Democrats. So it's like, right, guys, this has legs. We're going somewhere with this. So what your job is to go and tell your normie friends. Go and tell each one of you in the chat, nearly 8,000 people watching, right? You need to go and tell 10 people that you know. And I realize that it's going to be kind of embarrassing sometimes. You'll be like, listen, man, I know we don't normally talk about politics, but I need you to know that there is a guy called Rupert Lowe who has a party called Restore Britain that is going to fix everything. And then send them this. If they're like, what do you mean? Send them Rupert Lowe's video. It's like, look, just watch this and tell me that this guy doesn't have the right ideas. Right? Each one of you in the chat right now in Britain, 10 people. Do you understand me? 10 people. No sitting on your laurels. Go to the pub tomorrow, whenever you're at a local club or something. Go to the pub. Say, listen, man, I've known you for 20 years, whatever. I really think you need to know about this. This is how we fix the country, right? And if all of you do this, that's 80,000 real people who are not online, who are not constantly connected to all of this, who will now know about Rupert Lowe. And tell them, look, if you think he's right, tell someone. It's got to be word of mouth, right? We're going to do the best we can online. And don't get me wrong, 22.3 million views is not shabby, but you don't know where those views are. Right. What we need to do is be talking to real people in the real world, in the country, on the ground, who might not otherwise be engaged with politics and say, no, we actually have an option. Because one of the things, like the last election in this country, only had a 60% turnout. Almost half the country doesn't bother to vote. And I think it's because they feel there's just no point. Politics has gotten away from us. It doesn't matter who I vote for. Therefore, there's no point voting. And it's like, well, I think this is a time where we actually have a person who not only has a party, but has a track record of doing what they say they're going to do. Right? Rupert Lowe said, I'm going to donate my salary to charity. He does it every month. Rupert Lowe said, I'm going to do the rape gang inquiry. He has done it. Rupert Lowe says he's going to do something and he just does it. He actually fucking does it. Like, that is the rarest quality in a politician. So tell someone this is the party for us, and we will get that up. And that's the thing, right? The party for us. Like, this is what Corbyn was trying to get at with your parties. Oh, no, this is a party for the people. It's like, okay, Jeremy, yeah, that's great, but that's like, your people are Hamas, right? Your people are Hezbollah. Your people are foreigners. Your people are the IRA, right? But Restore Britain's people are the native people of these islands. Like, these are a party that's actually grounded. The locus of the origin of their concerns is in us for the first time in a long time. Because the Conservatives and Labour, their locus of concern is in liberal ideology, British values, right? Their concern is for something above us. But Restore Britain's is in us, and that's where we need to begin with. So go and tell someone that you know. That's your job. I obviously, Rupert with the rape gang inquiry. I was going to talk about that a bit, but we've covered that already. And so, yeah, he's just been tweeting just hard statements. Just no, we're going to just ban kosher and halal slaughter. We're just going to make sure every foreign national loses welfare. And the response to this from reform people online has not been good, right? So they're scared. And I don't blame them for being scared, because Rupert Lowe is everything that you hoped Farage would be. Now, I see a lot of things like this, and this, I don't know who Big Brain Steve is, but I think he uses ChatGPT, because this seems, look at all the M dashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 M dashes. Is that a sixth one that I missed? I don't know. Lots of M dashes. I'm pretty sure. I mean, this just reads like a ChatGPT script, right? So, and I've seen lots of these where it's like, is Reform botting a lot? Because I feel that they might be actually, especially when you look at the the actual content of this. Immigration. David Bull nailed it. Immigration is the lifeblood of the country. We need it. Yes, we need it controlled, but it's essential. Nigel calls mass deportations literally impossible. Like, I mean, this ChatGPT script is a nightmare. Like, this ChatGPT script is making them absolutely look like they are worse than the liberal fucking Democrats. Muslims, Nigel's clear. If we politically alienate the whole of Islam, we will lose. We will lose. We will lose. Smart, strategic. I mean, this is definitely ChatGPT. But these are accurate statements that it's drawing upon. And this is the problem with Nigel. Ban the burqa? No. Zia Yusuf. Shut that down. Reform gets it. Britain thrives as a diverse, welcoming, integrated country, not chasing purist dreams that split the vote. Fucking hell. Like, if this ChatGPT summary of Reform is anything to go by, I'm glad I'm jumping ship. And then you get like stuff like this. Again, I don't. When did this person even get their fucking account? You know, like, I really am starting to think that these are a lot of these are genuinely bots. Join January 2026. Account based in Ecuador. Okay, yeah, I'm absolutely certain there are loads of fucking Reform bots. Right, I'm absolutely certain. I'm going to say I cannot stand Rupert Lowe. He's an egotistical bully. No, that's Nigel, right? Nigel is the egotistical bully. I stand with Sir Jim and Nigel. Jim Ratcliffe said Nigel wasn't the guy to do this. He literally said Nigel is not going to be the guy to do this. This is all just bots, right? There are loads of fucking Reform bots everywhere, and I'm sorry, but I just don't agree with them at all. And I think they're going to lose, right? Especially as I saw Darren Grimes. Now, I like Darren Grimes. He's a councillor in Newcastle, I think it was, where he comes from. And he's furious about this. But this shows the way the energy is flowing, right? Everyone from Reform, the activists and Darren Grimes, although Farage hasn't mentioned this yet, and he won't either until it's too late. And even then, he won't have a good line on it, because when Farage cancels you, he ignores you forever. As far as he's concerned, he's banished you to the shadow realm. You no longer exist. But Rupert Lowe is, frankly, just too competent for that. And he will come back to haunt him. But Darren was really, really angry about this. And I don't blame him for being really, really angry. But I think he has to understand, Farage has been fucking abominable to us. Not only, I mean, calling Rupert Lowe the charlatan, when it's obvious that Farage is the charlatan. It's obvious that Farage is the egotistical bully. It's obvious that this is not going to work. Farage should be on 40+%, by the way. And he's not, because he's clearly not a revolutionary against the system itself. But the energy in the panel is really interesting, because everyone on the panel, you can tell they're kind of like, yeah, I'd like to go with Rupert Lowe. I mean, like, for example, why aren't all of these people basically members of Reform? Like Emma Webb, she's incredibly smart. You know, that chap on the far right, I can't remember his name. Like, a nice chap. Like, there's no real reason you wouldn't have these people in your party already. But Nigel keeps everyone at arm's length. Oh no, you might be a potential liability when it comes to media hit pieces that for some reason Farage is incredibly sensitive to, because he wants to remain inside the status quo. Like, why would you leave all of this talent on the table? Rupert Lowe's just going to sweep them all up. And this is why, man, when Lowe announced it yesterday, the right just exploded. Everyone was just like, oh, it's on. Finally, thank God, someone has picked up the crown. Our Cromwell has arrived, and now you're all fucked. We have a political option we can advocate for, vote for, and have our people standing as candidates in, and you're all fucked. That's been the general energy that has just exploded across the right, and Reform are fucking catatonic. I'm sorry, Darren. I mean this. I'm sure you're a lovely guy. But this keeping an exceedingly narrow ivory tower approach was never going to be the winning goal. Right? It was never going to be the winning move. And you left all of us outside of it. Nigel left us all outside of it. And we are literally an army of veteran campaigners. Like, this is what we do. Like, there are loads of us, absolutely loads of us. I just saw everyone. Just, like, I couldn't see anyone of any substance whatsoever counter-signaling Rupert. Everyone was just like, fucking finally, we've got a big tent for the right where we can just start, fixing bayonets and going over the top and going hard and saying, we've got our guys, we're coming for you. Everyone was fucking thrilled. The energy was like nothing I'd ever seen. Like, it was bigger than when Trump did it. Because, like, with Trump, you had a bunch of the rhinos, right? But we don't really have that here. So it was just like, you have, like, we don't have Trumpian energy inside of the mainstream, right? So we didn't have, like, the insurgency in the mainstream. No, this is like a barbarian army that has gathered outside of the gates of their walled off ivory tower city, and we're going to storm it. Like, so everyone on our side is just like, great, sharpen my swords, like fix bayonets. This is so good. And everyone was just like the most excited I've ever seen anyone. And I was just like, this is like, genuinely, this is the actual right of the country united against the Blairite consensus, right? And Farage sits inside that consensus. And so it's like, no, Rupert Lowe didn't say British values. In fact, he counter-signaled it completely. No, we're a nation. We are a nation. If we, our values will change over time, and that's fine because they're ours, right? Farage is committed to the Blairite abstraction of British values. He is as much a Blairite as anyone else, as the ChatGPT fucking monologues make him sound. We are completely on the outside of that. And so everyone just found themselves shoulder to shoulder in agreement. Rupert Lowe is the man, and here we go. And my God, we are going to win. We are going to win. So basically, I'm praying that Keir Starmer lasts, because we need a couple of years. We've got 3 years to the next election. Having a couple of years for us to build momentum would be great. But things are changing really fast. Really fast. So I guess we'll see where we are. But we begin on 10%. That's amazing. Like, guys, I think we're going to win. I honestly think we're going to win. Right, I'm going to go through as many super chats as I can because I am at this point fucking shattered. But if I don't get to yours, I'd just like to say thank you very much. And honestly, I can't see how we lose. By the way, there's a link in the description so you can go and join Restore Britain. If you are a British person, I suggest that you do. It is £20 for a year, so it's very affordable. And it just starts building up those numbers and helps Rupert build up a war chest for the campaigning that is to come. So go and sign up if you're in Britain. If you're not in Britain, I don't know what the rules are, so I'm going to say don't sign up. But obviously, give us some fucking love on social media. Be like Elon, just share us, make sure that everyone can see that, things are going our way, because we finally have a place with which to plant our feet. Johnny Medlar, my turn to be envious of you Brits. Restore the mother country. Thanks, man. Good to hear from you as well, by the way. And I can't see how we're going to lose. I can't see how we can lose, because it's us versus all of them, and everyone hates all of them. Because everything Rupert is saying there has actually been well polled. In fact, I'll probably on the Monday podcast, what I'll do is I'll pull up all the polling for the things that he's suggesting and just show, at least half the country completely agree with Rupert, because that basically is the English percentage of the country who aren't radical leftists, who just all agree. About half the country just are normal English people who just agree with everything that Rupert has said in precisely the way that he said it. And I'll get all the polling together so you guys can see that Rupert's policy platforms are just really well liked by the average person in Britain. So, we're going to win this, right? I'm not gonna read some that are over fawning, but thank you, Ganson Jack. Olive says it's time to remove the rot. Time to stop talking and start doing. We the people need to take this country by the horns, not the political elite class. Yeah, well, this is the thing, isn't it? Like, the English have always had this do-it-yourself attitude. Well, we do that with everything. Why wouldn't we do that with politics? Yes, we're going to do it ourselves. Yes, we're going to keep going. We've got nowhere else to go. We've got nothing else to do. Like, guys, if you think you've got something more important to do than saving the fucking country, what are you doing here? Like, I don't think you do, frankly. And so we're just going to get on. We're going to start organising, and we're going to win. We're not going to stop. I mean, this is what the mission has been. I said it's going to be a 20-year plan. Well, we're about 7 years into that now, and it's going great. It's actually going really well. We've now got a Cromwell. We've got a huge online presence, and we've got people primed to move in the right direction. So, yeah. I'll fight you naked. Yeah, I get it, man, with your 2.5-year-old. My 5-year-old and 3-year-old are little partners in crime. And they get on really well most of the time. But they just keep doing things, and it's just been tiring, just trying to make sure they don't destroy everything. Stunner says, Britain can only change with the expulsion of a certain group. Well, I mean, let's be sensible about things. Mason Royce, candidate Carl Benjamin for Swindon South? No, I don't live in Swindon South. The Elegalas says, the simple fact that Rupert Lowe isn't afraid of being called names in the media is good enough for my vote, and that's the point. He begins by saying, I don't care about your shaming mechanisms, whereas Nigel Farage has always been insanely vulnerable to it because he needs their approval. It's like, sorry, I don't want your approval. And until we don't want their approval, we can't win. And so that's where this comes in. Callum, so I think this was Bo's catchphrase where he said, aim high, vote low. That's not bad, actually, to be honest. I'm gonna just focus on the ones that are actually relevant to things. I'm glad Lowe looks to have harsh policies that make them want to self-deport. That will save money in the short term and get remigration. Well, you want to be as non-surgical as possible with this sort of thing. Basically, if you just stop the inflow, or at least the 99% of the inflow, and just stop giving them money, millions will just go on their own accord. Because, of course, why would they be? I mean, like, another thing is tax remittances. Put like a 50% tax on remittances. Why have you... Because, I mean, this is the essence of colonization. I'll talk about this in another video. Like, sending money back to the mother country is the purpose of colonization. It's why you do it, to extract wealth from the conquered people. That's what remittances are. So tax that. I mean, you could put 100% tax on it, but I think people would be a bit arsey about that. But if you're like 30 or 50% tax or something like that, but like, look, no, you're not just going to make out like a bandit. You're going to contribute. They'll stop and they'll fuck off. Like, trust me, there's a reason they're asking for an airport in Mirpur. The Anglosphere needs to be restored, says Woe Bro. The US needs a strong Britain. The Anglosphere should be in united front against our common enemies. Absolutely. This is why, like, I realise why a lot of people in Britain are very tired of the Americans. You know, the British right are very tired of the Americans. But, like, we've currently got Starmer cozying up to the Chinese, and they will literally use us in exactly the colonial way that, you know, Keir Starmer seems to intend as well. They won't care about us at all. They won't have any feelings of sympathy towards us. So it's just, no, we can't permit this. We can't permit this. You know, the Americans have got their faults, but they're our faults. Adam, for £100. Thanks, man. That's really generous. Says, crazy that the common sense stuff in the video they posted 2 hours ago is revolutionary. Sad I couldn't make the 5-hour drive on the 13th. My granddad's test results cancer-free. Oh, congratulations. Best Friday the 13th ever. My granddad's going to live. The National Granddad is starting to save the country party. I know. Well, honestly, everything's coming up us. But like I said, I called the stream. We're going to win for a reason. We are going to win. We're going to do this. Like, everyone has, like, so, right. So the American right and the British right, two very different beasts. I've got loads of friends on the American right, obviously. But there's a kind of high stakes drama in it. Honestly, kind of like wrestling, you know, it's like with Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk and all this sort of stuff. Like, we don't really have that on the British right. And on the last Tommy rally, like the sort of like ethnics hate Tommy because he supports Israel and he's not like a hardcore ethnat. It's like, okay, but like, that's not the same as the sort of personality clashes. And at the last Tommy Rally, man, it was just nothing but a love fest. Everyone was like, everyone was there and everyone was welcome. And if we can just stop attacking each other, then everyone can work together. And so we actually have a lot more sort of, not just unity, but also, because we don't have First Amendment rights, we have to be a lot more polished in our delivery. And so people on the British right in Britain, I found to just be of a really high standard and understand their place in the world a lot better than the Americans, who are constantly jostling for position. So it's everyone on the British right I've personally found, and I've met practically all of them, to be generally pretty good and very nice in person at the very least. And I don't have a problem with any of them. And hopefully we can all take this kind of, we can fight over the spoils after we win, right? Let's worry about getting them winning first. Kopesh says, loved reading Island of 5 and the interview with Lowe while drinking coffee in my Amelia mug. Well, glad to hear it. The ambiguous Britain says, Carl, I want to say through the dark hours of the nation, you've been a constant source of reassurance. I feel as if the tide is finally turning and there's a crackle of hope in the air. Man, I tell you what, for me, like, I was literally, before, I wasn't going to do this stream until we got that poll result out. And I was like, right, okay, I better do one now, because it may have changed on Monday. We are going to cover this on Monday, of course, because everyone's going to want to have their say. And this will probably be talked about for quite a long time, because there's a lot is going to come out from this. But I was like, okay, well, it's all well and good this being the case online, but does it translate into the polls? Does it pierce the public imagination? And starting 10% is just amazing. Genuinely amazing. I genuinely think that's only going to go up. And it goes back to that guy at the beginning, where he's just jutting out his chin. It's like, no, I want Rupert Lowe. Right? That's the revolt against the system itself. And I love it. I love to see it. People are finally getting it. It's like, no, this is a total war, right? It's a total war against the Blairite managerial system, and we are going to destroy it in its entirety when we win. We're going to tear the whole thing down. Like, I did that interview with David Starkey the other day, and he gets it so completely. And he's right about the Great Repeal Bill. It's just, no, we're just going to get rid of it all. Just write it up, pass it on day one when you've got, again, all you need is about 370 mad lad patriots, and you can fix this country pretty fucking quickly, or at least, put it on the right course, change the heading of the country. And you can do it all on day one. You can just undo Blair's entire fucking legacy on day one. And we should. The British people must rally around their own Cincinnatus. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Because Rupert Lowe does have shades of Cincinnatus in him, doesn't he? Just a farmer called up when his country is in its darkest hour to come, win all of the battles, and then retire back to his farm knowing that he has done his part. As a Yank, I'm jealous that you guys now have a party further to the right than us for once. Yeah, I know. It's interesting. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, Ben Habib literally, was it last night or this morning? I think it was last night. But Ben Habib was like, brilliant. I'm more than happy to fold advance into restore, and I personally will ask for nothing in return. And it's like, okay, that absolute gentleman, right? Absolute gentleman. Because advance got about 40,000 members, which is a lot, right? Because Ben Habib he wanted Rupert to be the leader of advance, but Rupert wasn't certain the time was right. And so Ben Habib was like, well, I'm going to start it, get the infrastructure running. And Rupert was like, okay, well, you do whatever you want, but I'm the MP, so I'm the person with the gravitas, authority, and position. But the second Rupert starts this, Ben's just like, yeah, no, brilliant. I'm more than happy for us to fold advance into restore. Now it's a proper political party, because I'd spoken to Ben about this, and I speak to Rupert and Ben fairly regularly, and I was just like, I was trying to persuade Rupert, like Ben was, to start a party. We both wanted him to start a party. And Rupert's like, no, now's not the time. I'm not ready yet. And I was just like, okay, fair enough. And Ben was like, okay, well, I'll start one and, accumulate things. But now he's decided to go for it. Well, Ben's just like, yeah, we'll just fold it in. Perfect. Brilliant. This is wonderful. Couldn't ask for a more seamless transition into an actual national campaigning machine on day one. God, it's like it's written in the fucking stars, guys. This is just everything is just seamlessly coming together. It's so good. Do you think Restore will get a majority in the next general election or achieve enough to sabotage reform and force them to adopt radical changes? Man, I think we're just going to win, right? I think we're just going to win. Like, I think, because remember, Farage has only been an MP for 18 months, right? And he came back because the polling in Clacton was that reform would win. So, say 2 years. That's where they got. It took them 2 years to get to where they are now. Well, I'm sorry, we've got another 3 years to the general election. So, it's all to play for. And if I was Rupert, I'd be like, no, I want to play for the majority. I want to play for the win. We have got to win this. And I remember, like, a while ago, a few months back, I interviewed him. And afterwards, he's like, we've got to win in 2029. I was like, okay, Rupert, we don't have a party. You know, I'm totally up for winning in 2029, but we don't have a party. And he was like, I know. You know, and I could see he was having very serious thoughts about what's going to happen. And I guess the moment was just pregnant with possibility, right? Like 22 million fucking views on that video. That's amazing. You know, that is just, you couldn't have asked for a more stratospheric launch. Like, I wonder how many signups they've had. Guys, link in the description, go sign up. Like this, because remember, Reform have like 250,000, something like that, members. Well, I mean, you know, that's not the biggest that's ever been or anything. Like Jeremy Corbyn's Labour Party had 500,000 members. This could get very big, very quickly. Sign up. God, I'm running out of tea. And it's cold. Some random says there are always two paths prepared. Like that quantum physics experiment that works retroactively. People fear and turn to God, then things improve, they get confident, then throw them away again, it all crashes down. Well, we are just going to do our best, I think. I'm not going to talk about my positions with Reform or anything like that. I don't know. I haven't spoken to Rupert about anything. But I mean, no matter what happens, I haven't asked for anything, nothing like that. But no matter what happens, I'll always give him the best advice that I think I can give. And I will doubtless always just be a supporter anyway, right? Because this is clearly what we have for us. So, you know, even if I'm just a cheerleader, I'd be very, very happy, frankly. I wanted to challenge a statement from a previous stream, and we'll have to cover it another time. Yeah, Ben Habib's response was epic. Yep, it's absolutely brilliant. Oh yeah, Ben's already said thank you. You know, like Rupert's already, like, people were tweeting, and Rupert was like, "Yeah, Ben, more than welcome to join." And Ben was just like, "Great, I'm going to fold advance in," and the membership wants that. You know, so it's just like everything is just going great. We should pilgrimage to Great Yarmouth and thank the locals that voted for him in as an MP. God bless him. Honestly, you fucking should. Like, go on holiday to Great Yarmouth in the summer. Like, it looks lovely to us. It looks like such a classic English seaside town. But, you know, I need to go there, really, to do vox pops and interview people and, you know, see the place. Because this is going to be remembered as the place that saved England. It genuinely is. And it's the people of Great Yarmouth who just dug in the heels and said, yeah, fuck it. We're done with this. We're just done with it. I hope Lo does for the UK that Trump couldn't do for America. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. You know, I love Trump, but, you know, it hasn't been perfect, has it? Go Liver says, I can't see it. The elites will crash the ship with no one left. Well, the thing is that they have a few problems, right? Which is that the power of selection is still in the hands of the British public, and Parliament is actually still sovereign. Even if the day-to-day power has been taken out of the hands of the MPs, you could pass any legislation that you wanted. And if you wanted to liquidate all of the quangos on day one, you can. If you want to literally legislate the sky is green and the grass is blue, you can. Like, there is no constitutional limit to what you can actually do in Britain. So they will do, oh my God, right? If you think Farage is going to get institutional resistance, you don't even know the kind of institutional resistance Rupert Lowe's going to get. But to be honest with you, honestly, it might just be worth dissolving the legacy institutions of the British Empire and forming new ones. Jan says, what happened to your Hannibal comic project? That's not mine, that's Lindy Beige. I backed his Kickstarter. Where's my fucking Hannibal comic, Lindy Beige? And it was Lindy Beige who kind of bottled it, apparently. I spoke to the artist. Lindy Beige is the one who bottled it. So it wasn't mine, it was Lindy Beige's. But I wanted that Hannibal comic. Because it's the sort of thing I personally love. Sorry, I'm just going to... Asmongold is talking about Rupert Lowe live right now. Let's go. Oh, fucking brilliant. That's brilliant. Generico says, England expects every man will do his duty. There can be no sitting back with the expectation that Restore can move the earth around you while you are idle. Go join, volunteer, bring in your mates, bring in your family. Do your duty. Yes, go and join the local chapter. There will be local chapters set up. Go and join them. I am going to join the local Swindon chapter. I mean, fuck it. It might be that we have to set up the local Swindon chapter, which I guess will just become an extension of the Lost Seasons. But I mean, why the fuck not? I mean, the New Culture Forum already has chapters all over the country. I don't doubt that Peter Whittle would be chomping at the bit, God rest his soul, to be the local chapters for Restore. Not for a second would I think that Peter Whittle wouldn't be thrilled to be able to do everything that he could. And so, like, who knows what happens, right? You know, because I do events for the New Culture Forum whenever they ask, because I love the guys. And this is like, it's all there. We just need to pull everything taut, and literally it'll just the structure will just come out of the ground and build itself up without very much effort at all. And it's like, it's all there. It's all there. And I'm not worried about vote splitting. I think we'll just eat them up. I think that Labour and the Tories are basically conquered already. I just don't see how they've got an argument to anything. It's just basically smashing Reform. And Reform seems scared. All of the Reform talking heads seem scared. And so I'm just not worried about it. Furious Dan says, is it likely the UK government will just ban Lowe from running? I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know if they've ever done that, to be honest. Lowe has a party. He is an elected MP. So I don't know if they can do this. So, God only knows. You know, God only knows. But yeah, I think we're going to win. So there are loads of super chats I haven't read, but a lot of them are basically just congratulating us. So thank you for all of the well wishes and kind words. And as I said, if you are British, if you are in Britain, go and join Restore. The link is in the description. Folks, this is it. Right? This is the best we could possibly hope for, I think. The stars have aligned. This is the best confluence of circumstances where all of our enemies are profoundly weak. Farage has been faltering in the polls. He's taken on a bunch of Tory defectors that nobody asked for. Nobody was like, oh yeah, please take on a bunch of Tories. No. You know, like he's going down the polls and he's personally quite weak when it comes to all of these things. And I think that you'll find him virtue signaling against Rupert Lowe in the next couple of months as Lowe starts gaining momentum. I think this is going to hurt him. I think Rupert Lowe will just keep gaining ground by holding the line and pointing out that the right thing to do is what his plan is. And I think that we will see things going more and more in our direction. So go and get involved. Tell friends and family. Go to meetings. When local branches are set up, which they will be, join them. Be active. Be in the local community. Actually make a difference. And if we all just pull together in the same direction, I don't see how they can resist us.